8 reviews? Really? That's it? That is all that's in this publication? 8 reviews? You couldn't think of anything else to put in this damn magazine that is used to help. I don't even know what the fuck this is for anymore. Supposedly, GameInformer is still the world's #1 video game magazine. Do you even know any others that are even left? I mean, Nintendo Power's gone. PlayStation Magazine's gone. I don't even know if the Xbox one is still around. EGM, is that still around? GamePro, they still around? I know Next Gen's gone. Sega Visions, well, that's been gone for decades. So, they really need to get rid of this because this is just stupid. #1, and they barely even mention it. Like this, you can barely see it because of the white. But like over here, this one's from 2013, world's #1 video game magazine. You know, 2014, world's #1 video game magazine. Are you fucking kidding me? You actually still try to brag that yours sells higher than any other publication involving video games. Is there any surprise? And you actually think that that even matters? Because we all know why this is put on there. It's not because people actually read your shit. No. It's because they group this in with those fucking edge cards that people buy. Okay, they're not called edge cards anymore. They're called power-up rewards. Because they want to make you feel like you're being rewarded with this fucking piece of shit magazine. Okay? GameInformer has been around for a good while. At the very least, I believe it's been well over 10 years. And I never really cared for them. I thought a lot of their shit was biased. They seem to pay too much attention to the mainstream popular stuff and things that people don't get attention to, which is what really should be covered in magazines like this. Stuff that doesn't get the praise, stuff that doesn't get a lot of the advertisement because they don't have the money to do so, or because they'd rather have their game stand on their merit and not pay a shit ton of money to say, hey, why don't you put a good review in for this, okay? But no, they pay attention to the top shit. Just like the top couple things. And fucking 8 reviews. This one right here only had 9. This was a couple years ago. And, you know, when you get a magazine that deals with something that you're interested in and you're trying to find out what people think about the game that you might be interested in, at the very least, you should have more than less than 10 things to talk about. I mean, fucking 8 reviews. And let's count them. This is January 2016. This is the issue that you got now, if you even bothered to read it. And the funny thing is that they give you the option to have it emailed to you. So you can save paper, but instead it basically is, you know, don't even waste, don't even worry about it. It's an email you'll never get. It'll probably be in your fucking spam folder because it's pretty much spam anyway. I mean, who would pay money to read this? You know? Not me. People who buy this magazine subscription don't buy it for the fucking magazine. They buy it to save 10%. And if they don't go there very often and don't actually have enough reason to warrant it, it's a waste of time. And in fact, they tried to sell it to you by grouping it in with that purchase. So if you buy $150 worth of pre-owned shit, they're like, well, you're going to get it for free anyway. That's how they get you. And guess what? At that point, you contributed to the #1 video game magazine. So, let's see. How many reviews are on this magazine? And keep in mind, this is January 2016. First one right there, Fallout 4. It's a 9. Actually, I think some people actually give this thing a 10. That's kind of interesting. But, okay. Fallout 4, everyone's going to talk about it. Why? I don't even know why people bother. If everyone's going to review the same shit, the same 5 things. Why even bother? Why not review something that people aren't going to review? Just to say, hey, here's a game that, you might not have heard of. Maybe it could be good. Even if it's a game that sucks, you say, well, this is a piece of shit, avoid it. Star Wars Battlefront. Not a surprise. I thought these games came out in November, but whatever. Need for Speed 7. Okay, it's Electronic Arts, so it's kind of expected. Rise of the Tomb Raider 9.5. Bloodborne 9.25. StarCraft, that's for the PC, 8.75. And what's the last 2? Yokai Watch and The Room 3. Okay, so there is no Vita game on here. Keep that in mind. No Vita game. Now, Fallout 4, that's for everything. So, PS4, Xbox, PC. Okay. Star Wars Battlefront, PS4, Xbox, PC. And then Need for Speed, PS4, Xbox, PS4, No, actually, Rise of the Tomb Raider is just for Xbox. Bloodborne's just for the PS4. StarCraft is just for the PC. Yokai Watch is for the 3DS. And then The Room 3 is for the iPhone. No Vita. No Wii U. Why am I surprised? And it's shit, with the exception of The Room. I'm not really familiar with that one. But, I heard a lot of advertisement for Yokai Watch. You can't get on the internet without even looking at Fallout 4. It's everywhere. Or Battlefront. So, this is shit that is pretty much, everyone's going to tell you what this game is. What all those games are. So, what was the point in reviewing all those? If you had to pick only 8 things to review, why the fuck are you reviewing shit everyone's going to review? Because you want to be with the in crowd? Why don't you actually set some standards and be a little different and review shit that no one's talking about? That's what I would do. Yeah, you're not me, obviously. But, there's more games that came out than just those 8. In fact, if I recall, I'd have to look at last month's issue to see if you reviewed it or not. But kind of wondering if you reviewed Xenoblade Chronicles X. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Who knows? But, there are games that are coming out on every fucking system. You don't need to limit it to just one. And then that's another thing that bothers me. Your little top 10 lists. When you have this be-all, end-all of, what you think is good and what's not. Your lists are so predictable, and it's like there's no real reasoning to it. It's just like you're trying to, it's like you have no opinion. You're just going with, maybe actually you do have an opinion. But, bottom line, it's just... I'm so done with GameInformer. I don't even know why I still even get this shit. This thing is better to throw into a fireplace to start it. I can't tell. I don't even think I've ever enjoyed a GameInformer. The only time that it was remotely interesting is when they had the little joke page on April 1st, or the April issue, called GameInfarcer. And they would have little things that they would do to joke around. But EGM did stuff like that too. I think Electronic Gaming Monthly was the issue, or was the magazine that infamously was telling people that they could get Sonic and Tails in Super Smash Bros. Melee by beating Cruel Melee, or ringing out 50 people or something like that. So it's not like something you did was new or interesting. And while I understand, certain magazines that are specific to one company, like Nintendo Power, like Sega Visions, like PSM, like the PlayStation magazine, there's going to be somewhat of a bias towards them, but that's because they're dedicating themselves to that system. But when GameInformer, who, by the way, is managed and published by GameStop, so they have a big interest in pushing these out. When they go out their way to publish this shit, you know, they're trying to do this to help sell. These are basically bigger versions of their little ads that they have out with articles that really no one cares about anymore. You know, this is why people ended up switching to online stuff like IGN, like Kotaku, like Polygon, and now we don't even trust going to them anymore. People go to YouTubers, and now people are starting not to trust them anymore either. But this was the start of it all. This, in my opinion, was when gaming journalism sucked. And, you know, the past couple of years, you saw magazine after magazine go out. I never thought Nintendo Power would die, but it did. The year that the world was supposed to end, it did for Nintendo Power. PSM's gone. That was a really fun magazine. I don't even think these people even have fun anymore. But, you know, I don't know. What I'd like to do is later on actually try to find some of the old issues of GameInformer, some of the old magazines like Next Gen, like Nintendo Power, like Sega Visions, PSM, GamePro, maybe even the Xbox magazine. Definitely Electronic Gaming Monthly. You know, get those. You know, round up a couple. Just take a look at them and, you know, see the difference between, you know, them and this. But, oh my god, I just, you know, keep on looking at this shit. It angers me that this is still around, yet Nintendo Power, who for the longest time was pretty much the oldest video game publication, you know, you could receive monthly, who actually made strategy guides for some Nintendo games. They couldn't survive. You know, I saw the last issue somewhere. I have the 20th anniversary around here too. And, you know, from start to finish, it was a fun little magazine to read. And it just baffles me. You know, I wanted so badly, when you bought those stupid fucking edge cards, to have your choice of, you know, oh, you could get GameInformer, but, you know, what about if you wanted GamePro or Nintendo Power again, or PSM, or fucking something other than this? You know? It's like, oh, here, thank you for giving us money. Here's 10% off pre-owned games and accessories, not systems, but games and accessories. And they even advertise, oh, it's 10% off for this, which is kind of misleading because, you know, the lower price is always the price you're going to notice first, and the higher price. But in order to get the lower price, you have to get the edge card. But to get the edge card, you have to get the stupid magazine. And they made it even more enticing with these cards now having points. But I'm running out of steam, man. This is so... I got to start out so hot with this, but then when the further I talk about it, it drains me because this is such a... I was hoping I'd find my, the top 200 games, because that one, oh my god, that list really pissed me off. It was so bad. What do we got here? What's this? Things we legally can't call Max. Oh. Okay. Magitech armor. Police. Oh wow, teleconjector. But yeah, so yeah, my favorite magazines are gone. I used to read gaming magazines all the time, but... And the thing that really fucking sucked, the thing that really really sucked is when I was subscribed to magazines, they would die mid-subscription. And they'd be like, oh, well, we're gone. Here, we're going to let the rest of your subscription move over to this magazine because we think it's cool. Or we're going to give you to this magazine because it's video game related. You know? That's what happened when I subscribed to Next Gen. That's what happened when I subscribed to PSN. You know? Now, I'm sure that there's more obscure gaming publications out there, but they're really hard to get a hold of, and they're so obscure that they're not going to compete with this. This, which gets shoved down your throat, in my opinion, more than John Cena does in WWE. Not that I hate John Cena. I don't really have that much of a problem with him. But he was someone that they've been telling you, oh, you need to like this guy, you need to like this guy, you need to like this guy. For 10 years. Eventually, I mean, I had issues with him, but eventually I'm like, I guess he could be worse. But, you know, whenever there was a wrestler that I enjoyed, you know, I'd obviously pay more attention to him. I'm not judging people that don't like, you know, that like John Cena. But same thing with this magazine. If you like this magazine, I don't give a shit. It's fine. It's your choice to enjoy this magazine. At least someone has to, right? But if they at least tried harder and made it less obvious, made it less fucking obvious that it wasn't as biased as it is, you know? I mean, obviously, I must be a minority on this because, lo and behold, they're still here. 2016, folks. I guess we're just gonna have to fucking deal with it for now. Among other things. Till next time!